back to another episode of Two Fat Guys in a Dream. Of course, I'm your host with the most, Trumacy Machine Steen. As always, I'm joined here with my father, Scott Steen. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Truman. How are you?
Good. Surviving. Thriving.
Good.
Profiling.
Good. Good. You know, the dream seemed pretty far away this week. I just absolutely fell off the wagon. Just not a great week. And another weekend where I slipped, and then last night inexplicably I just said, you know what, tenderloin and some tots sound good. Tenderloin and some tots at the trivia the day before weigh in. So
all had a tenderloin and tots before. Did you win trivia at least?
got second.
Got second? Hey, that's not bad. Not bad.
Yep. Well, considering two of the categories were soccer and Star Wars, we felt pretty good to get a second place.
Yeah, I imagine so. There's some big nerds for both of those things. Well,
And the
congratulations.
winners doubled up on Star Wars, so yeah, we were.
Of course.
Anyway, so yes, thank you very much. But yeah, it wasn't my best week weight loss wise. You know, I hate to say it, I think I'm just going to be a little out of focus until we get back from vacation. I don't want to be that way. I wanted to really kind of run through the tape here before vacation. That is not the way it's headed. I still got a couple of weeks. We'll see what happens. But
and I think for the weeks that we miss a week, I think it's hard for us. I think we lose focus a little bit also.
That's also true. Also true. We had I went to a concert last Thursday night, and you had kind of a busy weekend, and Bob's your uncle, and then all of a sudden it's the next week, and you're like, well, shit, now we're only 3 days away from the next week. So, but we got a big show today, Truman. We're going to do something we've never done before. We're going to do a live Mom's Minute, and it's actually it'll look a lot like a regular Mom's Minute, but we're actually doing it live. Usually they're in the can. She records two or three at a time. She's going to record it in real-ish time here with us, so that'll be fun. I don't know what
I think it's the first Mom's Minute of the new year. I
believe that's absolutely true. For those of you that are new, that aren't familiar with Mom's Minute, it is a little piece that we do with Truman's mom and my wife, and she has a great deal of working nutritional knowledge. She shares some great tips with us, and hopefully she'll tell us something to get me back on track. Like, knock it the fuck off. Knock it the fuck off, fat boy. It's going to be her Mom's Minute.
Sure
just knock it the fuck off.
That's what it's going to be. All right, well, let's get into it. Let's get into a personal health check-in. Since the last time I saw you, I believe I had a bachelor party we talked about. And then I've just been struggling to rebound a little bit. So last time we were here, I was 252. This time I'm 253.2, so I gained 1.2 pounds during that time. Means I gave back 1.47%. Means I'm down to 34.72% of our goal. Also, I will say something that I have noticed that the spreadsheet was doing, that a lot of times you just drag down like sum this number of cells. I just pulled that down to an arbitrary like 55 or 60 or so, whatever it was, and it had stopped adding up our totals by episode 2 of this season. So we are now caught up. It's now actually reflecting our weight total. I've still the percentages were all right, but the
actual totals.
Yeah, the up top total loss was the only thing that was wrong. Now that's right.
So
I have actually lost 28.3 pounds, which is the 34.72% of my goal. For any of those math butts at home that are running, they're like, those totals don't match those percentages. As everybody in the comments was saying, we got to fix, so no worries.
All right, good. This is going to be, people are going to go back and listen to this. It's going to be such an incredible story about how we hit our goals. But when they listen to it, they're going to be like, okay, skip the first year.
Skip episodes, I think 30 through 80, and then it gets pretty good again.
Yeah, it's not really the first year, but it's like the months 5 through 17 or so struggle. So anyway, so let's and so let's hear the tale of my bad tape.
Your bad tape. You weighed in last time we heard 303. Today you weighed in 304.2, means you gained 1.2 pounds. You gave back 1.47%, means that you have now lost 21.24% of your goal. 28.1. So I am now officially actually ahead of you. I
Yes,
don't
you
know how
are.
we didn't notice this. Where I was like, I think I'm still up on you somehow, and it's like, but now I'm actually up on you because you gave back
Okay.
1.2 and I gave back 1.2. So I guess I was still up zero point 0.2 on you regardless, but now I'm actually up zero point 0.2 on you. So
Right. Right. Very good. And I'm glad we got that worked out. I'm glad we got that all
of
figured
course,
out. So,
I know it was
and you
eating
know,
it away at night. You're like, how am I behind?
it's a big show because I think later in the show, and I'm not positive about this, but I think we're going to check in with James because it's been 2 weeks, and we had a little action going, didn't we, over this 2 week period?
Well, it's not this. I thought we'd check in next show.
What's that?
I thought we'd check in next. The check in would be on the next show.
What?
Yeah, I thought so. We could
That'll be
release
free.
this on Monday. Do you want to release
That'll
this?
be. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, okay. All right. We can release this on Monday. That's
But
no
we'll
problem.
have to talk about it. We may or may not have an update from James coming up, so we'll talk about that
Let's
later.
do update from James. That's fine. This will release on Monday. I think that's no problem. I think that's all right for all you
If
people
he's, we
that
got.
start your Fridays off with two fat guys in a dream. I'm sorry that you've had to wait 2 Fridays. You'll start your week off instead of your weekend off. You'll start your week off next time.
And we had action on that, right? We had $10 a man.
That sounds right. Yeah.
I think
I
you.
like James odds. I'm not gonna lie to
I
you.
don't. You. I was gonna say you and I are in trouble. You
Yeah,
and I are.
we're both up. So as long as James has stayed even, I think he's parlayed this into a pretty good setup for himself here.
In the land of the barefoot, the man with one shoe is king.
At,
So yeah,
at our best case scenario is me and you are splitting $5 or each getting $5. We're splitting $10. That's our best case scenario. I hope you understand.
brutal, absolutely brutal. So
So
all
congratulations,
right, so
preemptive congratulations to James.
you know what? There's nothing much to say, Truman. I have no excuses. It's just yeah, just my motivation is dipping. I got to figure out a way to get it back. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, stay
I think
tuned.
when we check in with James, I think I have something. I have a question that I want us to tackle. Whenever we
Okay.
and it's what do you miss about not being overweight? I think is something that we should talk about. Where it's one of those where it's. I think a lot of times we talk about these goals and they are just numbers, but let's talk about feel. Let's talk about what it looks like. So I
Yeah,
think
that's fair.
that'd be an interesting thing to look at. So
That's very good. All right. So without further ado, you ready?
yep,
Let's see
ready
what
for
the
a mom's
moms minute.
minute,
Yeah,
a
let's see what
live
the
mom's
moms minute.
minute.
And we'll be right back after this mom's minute.
All right, and here she is to do her live mom's minute. Mom, please take it away.
Thanks, Truman. So guys, long time no mom time. It has been months later and I'm back with some updates. Last time we talked, I was doing the math on realistic weight loss and I was doing the math for myself. I expected to go into the year with 10 to 15 pounds to lose. And on January 1st, I was needing to lose 14.9 pounds. Phew. So the math worked out. I'm always an optimist and I always hope it's going to be more. But realistically, I knew what the number was going to be. And then like life went kind of crazy there. I'm not a great winter person. I don't go out and do things in the winter. Our dog, as Scott has mentioned, our dog Milton got sick. And actually, what that process did was let me know really how out of shape I am. I was having to lift and carry, and I was like, you know what? With my aging process, I also need to focus on balance. And, just like dynamic strength, I'm not going to be a weightlifter, but I do have things in my life that I need to pick up. I notice that when I'm feeling stronger, I lift my legs better so I don't trip over things as much. I mean, there's just all these weird things that happen as you age, and the better shape you're in, the better off you are. But I was really on this plateau for the first 3 months. I would bounce around, I'd lose some, I would gain some, and I would celebrate Valentine's Day, and I just wasn't really paying attention. And I mean, what really happened was life kind of just kicked me off my plateau. Um, the Milton episode let me know that I needed to get in better shape, and I did lose some weight hauling him around. And then I ended up going to this Blue Zone group. Scott has talked about the Blue Zone diet. I had been into it years ago, and so I got involved, and I thought that the group was focusing on more grassroots community activity and activism and kind of getting a network of resources for people. And instead, I was really shocked to find myself in a diet group. And like the book, they've dialed down or kind of um, pared down a lot of these great ideas into this 4-week diet. And it's daily weighing and all these things, and that I wasn't there for a diet. I wasn't there for a diet plan. And I especially am not down for daily weighing. All of that feels real 1970s diet stuff, a lot of diet trauma from my childhood, I guess. And I was like, no, man, I'm not doing that. But it did reacquaint me with those ideas from that program, and they were so good. And it really reignited my initial goal of being able to play with my great grandchildren. I really want to, that's my overarching goal. That's always been my big, big goal is not to just meet them, but to actually play with them and be dynamic and active as long as I can be. Um, so that group kind of helped me out to kind of focus there. And then the third thing that happened really wasn't so much of a wake up call, but it was just like a boot in my butt off the sidelines. Experts say you should get a workout buddy and or a personal trainer. And things I won't do for 5,000 Alex. It just that was never going to be me. They always say to get up and work out first thing in the morning. Also, not a morning person. Did not anticipate ever making that work for myself. Um, I did always wonder, if I was committed to that sort of a thing, if maybe it would be good for me. So what I found out is that it really does work. If for me, the personal trainer is fluffy, adorable, and, a little bitey. Um, yeah. Our pets are getting us off the sidelines, but through a series of events, we ended up with this 6-month-old Aussie Doodle, and the first day he walked me 5 miles, and I was solidly on the move. It turns out I can really move with a giant snapping asshole on my heels. And for personal trainers out there, might I suggest, more biting? I think that that might really work for you. But anyway, really, life just kind of forced me off this plateau, and I'm really embracing it. I have 9 pounds to lose. I have 8 months left in the year, and I really believe I can reach this goal. And I don't know that I've always been there with this where I'm like, "Yeah, I think I can do that, and I think maybe I can do better than that." So that should be really great news, and it is, but it also isn't because what's really unexpected is that I thought this goal, and even though I knew it was an initial goal and that I'd do some other things, I I'm a little disappointed when I look in the mirror. And I've lost clothes sizes. I'm wearing gold clothes, but I still am like, "Huh, I thought that was gonna look a little better." So, now along with this last 9 pounds to lose, and I fully expect I'll bounce around again, that's kinda my weight loss pattern. I think that's true for a lot of women. Our weight loss, and gain patterns are really different than men's, and so I think recognizing your own personal style of that allows you to be realistic. If you bounce back up, it's not the end of the world if that's how you gain and lose. But if when you bounce back up, you're just going to keep going, obviously that's not okay. Um anyway, so what I know I need to do now along with these last 9, 10 pounds is probably set a new goal. I think I can do better. But more than that, I really need to build lean muscle. I need to help my energy. I want a lot more balance and flexibility, so I need to go back to my yoga practice. I really want to do, I've gotten a new dance class that has been super great. There's no way I'm gonna go out and run for 90 minutes straight, but I will dance for 90 minutes straight, so it's working out. I have a new hula hoop class I really wanna try out. So I'm starting to incorporate additional goals to get me to the place where when I reach my actual goal weight, what like the ones that the BMI say I should be and the doctor's chart says I should be, if I get there, I'd also like to look in the mirror and be super excited. And be proud of all of the work that I did and feel healthy. I don't want to just feel skinny. That isn't really where I'm headed. Plus, I'm not from a skinny people. You know, it doesn't look good on me. It's fine. I want to be super healthy. So anyway, that's exactly where I'm at, True. So I'm hoping everybody's still eating happy and eating healthy, and I certainly am. Any questions?
No, no, I think it all makes sense. I think that's also something that we're going to talk about when it comes to James. We're checking in with James on Sunday, and then we're going to splice this all together. So I think it's interesting. Because I asked Dad, I think the question we want to talk with James is, what do you miss about not being out of shape or not being overweight? And so I think this is part of it, where it's a goal of, okay, well, I want this, and it's like, yeah, well, it's like it's funny because you go, oh well, I'm sure 20 pounds will look like that, and then you lose 20 pounds, and you're like, did I lose 20 pounds the right way or the wrong way? Where it's like I've noticed, like even though I've been, and we even talked about it, I've been plateauing where I lose some and gain, and then I put it back on. But like even as I've been plateauing, when I first got down here to 256 or 255, 253, you know, this range that I'm in right now, when I first got down here, I was still 2X's and like I'm like, like putting on an XL shirt is still not fitting well. And now it's kind of funny because I feel like now my body's kind of actually caught up to what 253 is, and now I don't even have to question like what size of shirt I'm buying. I'm buying an XL, you know, and now it fits fine. I've got no problems, you know, and like but at the same time I'm like, okay, well, okay, what is it, you know? So then it's like, okay, what does the next 20 pounds look like? Is that going to get rid of the love handles? Probably not. It's probably the next 20 pounds, you know. It's because
Yeah.
that's funny that because you have realistic goals and you set this goal, you're like, okay, I want to do this, but the realistic thing is here, and it's like, yeah, but it's funny because even I think sometimes if you hit your unrealistic goal, it still isn't really what you thought it was going to be, or
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, wait, okay,
Sad.
so apparently that's the next 20 or whatever. So you know, I've been having some of those thoughts here and there. So I think we're going to talk about it with James and whatnot, and say, okay, well, what is, you know, numbers are all fine and dandy, but what does it look like? What is your actual goal? What do you want to, you know? And yours is, you know, holding great grandchildren, playing with great great grandchildren, all that stuff. Which, you know, I guess we'll work on that, but you know, but I just
Well, and you yeah, well, I'm not rushing anyone.
yeah,
It's
right.
fine, it's fine. Um, so, no, you saw me push through one of my fears, you came to a fashion show that I was in,
Mm-hmm.
and that was something that it's like it's not that I wouldn't have had the confidence to do it, I just wouldn't have even thought about doing it, and I showed up. The sizes I didn't even get to try on clothes or anything, so when I got there, they had clothes, and the sizes that I said I was, I actually was,
Mm-hmm.
and they fit, and they were fine, but when I saw the pictures, I was like, "You know what? That wasn't" part of it was the vision of the person dressing me was vastly different than my own vision of myself, so that didn't help, but it wasn't the best look, and I was like, "Okay, you know what? I gotta buckle down," and actually, it made me commit more, and it was a great experience just to push through a fear and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, although I am convinced standing around being hot, wearing weird clothes, waiting for people to stare at you is a very weird job. I could not do it. I'm really great for the people that that's their thing, but not mine.
Yeah,
So,
I feel that.
anyway, yeah, so that's all I got, True. I'll
All
be
right.
back. I wanna talk more about that blue zone and, like, where it comes into play. I'm just trying to work it, weave it into the tapestry of my life, and I've got a couple of things coming up for you guys.
Ooh, all right, all right.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Alrighty, I love
Love
you.
you, kid.
See ya.
See ya.
Bear. All right, welcome back, Dad. You're not as pretty as our last guest, I will say.
I'm not.
No, she had a lot to add. She had a lot to talk about. She kind of talked. It was a little bit about her personal journey, kind of setting up, I think, future Moms Minutes, where those have to go and where. And I think honestly, I think it also leads in well with the conversation that we're gonna have with James. I remember we talked earlier in this show that I kind of want to ask, while your number goals may look like something, what does that actually physically look like? How does that feel? What do you miss, and what are you trying to get back by losing this weight? And so, and I think Mom even kind of had a timely Mom's Minute and talked about that. So I think that's great.
All right,
So-
very good. Yeah, that'll dovetail well with our discussion for James. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll let's hear from James.
I say next time you see us, James, right here, bang.
And if we come back after James and we're different and we have different clothes on, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. Stop asking
Ask
so
a
many
bunch-
questions.
Yeah, stop asking so many questions. Exactly.
All right. Enjoy, James. All right. Welcome, everybody, back. We're going to revisit what we were doing. What was it? 2 weeks ago, we had James on the show. We all said if there was a gentleman's agreement, there was a gentleman's bet about who could lose the most weight. So we're going to capture some of that. We're going to talk a little bit about what maybe we've changed, what we haven't changed. I know what me and Scott have changed, which is not, in weight, but up. So that's
Oh, you went up.
We had a very
actually-
long we had a very long discussion with James before the show, before we did this interview. We talked about every topic under the sun except the one that we're actually going to talk about right now. So he does not know the results. This is not acting. This is not like done in advance. He does not know the results. Truman, just to recap, how'd you do?
I had some stuff going on this, and
We don't need the
I gained
excuse. We heard the excuses earlier.
right 1.2 pounds. I gained 1.2 pounds this week.
Okay,
Or
and what was
last
I?
week.
What
you
was
were
I?
you also gained 1.2 pounds this week.
There you
So,
go.
Our best
Oh, we
case
have
scenario is
seen-
we're splitting $5.
James, I'm not going to say this is the easiest $20 you ever made, but how'd you do the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, I lost 5 pounds.
Oh, hey!
God.
Somebody's
I
doing
thought-
something on the show.
I don't even know
Yeah.
why we're on this podcast. Good
Yeah.
Lord.
I
Welcome
thought
to the
we-
James
I-
Jefferson show.
I thought we were on the track. I thought it was like, hey.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm like turning around, you guys are still standing there. I'm like, what? What?
Exactly right. He's fired out of the blocks. Truman and I fell down and
And I
rolled back.
didn't feel like I did that well.
You did that well, buddy. You did that
Yeah.
well. Okay, so
I
and
kind of
I'll
had a
tell you what,
cheat. I had a cheat code though.
what was that?
Oh.
What would you do?
I got this thing. I can't show it to you because there's a Band-Aid over it.
What is it?
My health coach gave it to me. It tracks my blood sugar in real time.
Oh, your
Oh.
glucose. So you can see the
Glucose,
spike.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Are those cheap now? Because they were really expensive for a while.
yeah, she's just like hooking me up because she's got like a contact at the pharmaceutical company or something like that.
Oh, that's
So
good
she's
to
got
have.
like she's
I
got
do
like
that
a
kinda
bunch of
stuff now,
she's
so-
got like a bunch of samples
Mhm.
Okay.
of the little tab or whatever. So
Okay.
she's just like, hey, there's like 2 weeks. Each one is goes 2 weeks. Well, the first one I fucked it up and it came off. So that's why I got the Band-Aid over it because so it won't come off.
That's
So
what I was
would've had
wondering on something.
Yeah, it's like I was catching it on stuff and blah blah blah, and then it just came off. And once it's off, it's done. You can't reapply it.
Okay,
So she gave me a backup though.
How did that help you? Tell
Okay.
everybody how that helped.
The way it helped me is that it made me specifically look at because like really like after you want to we set a range. I want to stay between 80 and 180 on my blood sugar or whatever, my glucose. So like at first I had the alerts on and they were annoying because like when it goes like above 180 or below 80, the thing
Okay.
chirps and beeps and gets on your nerves. So I turned that off because I don't need that kind of pressure.
Right. Got enough.
And
alerts on
the
my
way
phone.
when that first happened was we had a family thing and really all I had a piece of pizza and a piece of cake, and half hour later that thing was chirping. I was up like 250 something or whatever.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So it spiked that heavy right away,
It's-
huh?
Yeah, that sugar and that carb that just like
Mhm.
pow.
Mhm.
So then I'm thinking about I'm trying to keep below
Right.
the 180, so it makes me want to eat stuff different. Now, it's a couple times where I experimented with things to see I'm gonna eat this and see what happens.
Right.
So but it was like small stuff. So just because it made me like more conscious of what I was eating and the content of what I was eating, like and how much I was eating, because I didn't want it to spike above the 180, and it did, but it's just like for a little while, and it come back down depending on what I ate. Now, certain things I ate that I thought were gonna like really spike me up did not, because they were lower in sugar and lower in carbs.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
You know,
There you go.
and
So
like
fat didn't matter. You have a big piece of
no,
fatty meat, no
nope,
problem.
Have
Nope.
some bacon or something, no problems.
nope. You know, now that's a whole other issue because that's the salt thing.
Right.
And
Yeah.
my
Mhm.
measure, my indicator there is when my freaking ankles swell up.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I can
lets me
feel
know I've
it.
had too much freaking bacon.
And I can feel it in my fingers. I can't close my hands as much. I can feel
Yeah,
my
that
fingers.
that too.
Fat
So
fucking sausages is what I can have on my hand.
right, yeah, then your fat finger and everything.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
you
more
just
than
you can't write a text message to save your life because you just got
Okay.
these straight up bratwursts on the end of your hands.
So when we're done, don't forget to stay on the line, and we'll get your Venmo info or your cell info or
oh
whatever.
sure, okay.
We'll make sure we get you paid. And I will say, we'll do it for the next 2 weeks. It's going to be a rough one for me because that's going to include my vacation. So I'm just going to donate. I'm going to donate to the cause to keep the momentum going between you two. Truman, what do you got going on? Are we just getting another $10?
I've got a bachelor
do you got?
party. I've got a bachelor party next weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, James,
Well, we're going down to the lake.
congratulations.
We're going down to the lake. I still got an opportunity. I still got a chance. And listen, we have the weekdays. We can't keep
That's right.
making excuses of because trust me, I got all summer worth of excuses. I've got this bachelor party. I've
Same.
got 3 wedding activities essentially in June. I've got
Dude, I've got so many birthday parties and
See?
other
Mhm.
events
There you go.
that I can. But you know what? I'm just gonna have to like show some self control, man.
exactly.
What now? What?
Exactly. What is that?
Okay. All
It's
right.
there. It's in me.
Mhm.
I just gotta use
All right.
it. I have the tools in my toolbox. I just refuse to open the toolbox half the time.
Yeah,
So
mine's-
I gotta
mine's
start
rubbish,
using
but-
what I got.
That's where
I
that's where
agree.
for me that's where the mindful eating comes in. Listen, there is no pride in finishing a plate at this point in my age.
No,
I'm
no,
not a
no.
growing
I'm
boy.
trying to-
Actually, I am a growing
I don't
boy
need
now,
to,
and
and
that's
I
my
don't need to
problem.
go back. I don't need to go back for the 4th plate.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Totally
a member.
unnecessary.
I'm a member of the Nuff clubs, the Clean Plate Club. I don't need that. I'm a member of the Columbia House. I'm a member of the Cheese in the Month
Columbia
Club. I
House.
don't need another. I don't need to be in another club, man.
I'm sure I owe them thousands of dollars. Look, I think they're bankrupt, so they can't get it.
Yeah, that's. You got to be a certain age to laugh at Columbia House, man.
Ugh.
That was not a thing
Yeah.
for you, was it, Truman? It was over by the time
It's
you were.
probably over.
Never heard of her.
buying
Nope.
music. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You
that-
used to get. Well, it started. You used to get 8 tracks, and you'd get
that's that's early. That's like
Yeah.
original Columbia House.
That's when it was just Columbia Room.
Yeah,
that's how old it was.
That's the room.
Columbia
Garage.
You used to get 11 or 12 8-tracks
for a penny.
for a penny. And then all you had to do was they'd send you the selection of the month for the rest of your natural born life, and you had to pay for it automatically unless you sent it back within 35 seconds of receiving it.
Yeah,
And
and,
if you
it was like,
just-
and that was like regular price where you
Yes.
pay at the record
Yes.
store.
Yes, it was record store price, maybe even a little dollar or two extra.
Yeah.
So, and everybody that I know just got their 12 tapes and said fuck off and never paid them another dime. And
No, because if you're a moron if you use your real name, they didn't check ID. You just give them any name, and you can even give them different addresses. It didn't matter. They were just
All right.
giving this stuff away.
It just keeps
all right,
saying that.
Andy Winky, whatever you say.
Right, exactly.
All right, so there you go. All
Okay.
right, so we've got it. For our records, even though Truman and I weigh on Friday, we'll make Sunday the official weigh day because that's what you're going Sunday to Sunday, right, James?
That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay.
I
All right.
weighed this morning. Yeah.
So that's a lot of pressure, Truman, because we're used to weighing in on Friday or Thursday and going,
Mm.
fuck yeah, I could just cruise through the weekend and then I'll hit it hard next week. But we
Little
can't do that.
Views breakfast. Yeah. No.
right. Because now we got to be accountable to James. So
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
James
Change-
is
Even
like,
changed
better.
the-
Gives me a reason to keep going.
You know, I tell you one thing I did that I think really because I changed because I was doing like my breakfast was like the overnight oats thing,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was like putting a bunch of this granola shit in there that I know was full of sugar.
Mhm,
And like
mhm.
the first time when I had this on and I had my oatmeal and it spiked. So then I switched over to these protein muffin things.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a lot of protein, a lot of fiber, and not a lot of sugar or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it was pretty filling too,
Is that the
just
almost
one.
edible brand?
I don't know. It's some flax something.
I-
It was
yeah.
like the healthiest of the health. It's real dense and thick too, but
Yeah,
it's
it is.
tasty. And like when I ate that, it was like no
Yep.
spike,
That's great.
barely any movement. And so I've been doing that for like the last week and a half too. So I haven't been getting that. So it's just like this little thing. And now when I go back to making my oats, I know I got to cut back to sugar, cut back the amount of the granola stuff that I like. Oh, and I switched my dried fruit from a no added sugar.
Yeah.
Because the ones I was using, the blueberries I had, they were extra sugar added, and I got some now that are no extra sugar added. Is way less sugar. So just like making those little tweaks, man.
All right.
And
So
it's
and
like-
don't think it's going to be this easy every time for you.
That's
I don't
fine.
want you to.
Yeah.
I
James,
don't
you're
want
gonna
it to
check
be.
it in
I
a
really
week
don't
on-
want it to be easy. I want you to make me like. What is that? What is that?
Yes, sorry.
Oh, it's a
sorry,
cat.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he's slightly out of focus.
Oh.
Yeah.
See you later. All right.
I was like, something's coming for you, Truman. Get out of there.
Chupacabra. Chupacabra.
Yeah, especially, yeah, the blurred. It really was terrifying to see him blurred right
Kind
there.
of weird, dude. I was like, oh shit. Am I gonna witness a murder?
James is sitting there like, this is the easiest money I ever made. Like in 2 weeks, he's I lost half a pound. Well, you kicked our ass again.
Great job, buddy.
Yeah, I
Here's
could
another
have had a
$10.
couple extra pieces of pizza. Now I think about it.
No shit.
So anyway,
All right.
yeah, no, I want a challenge. I want you to
Okay.
I want you to make me
All
keep up in my game in order to achieve what I want, man. Because like one thing,
All right.
hey, and my wife is starting to kick my ass because she's losing.
What's she doing?
She did the weight loss surgery,
Okay.
but then she's like really taking all the after surgery stuff seriously in terms of the way she eats and her activity and stuff like that. So yeah, she's getting there fast.
A lot of pressure.
It's funny. That's the number. That's number one way to make sure those all work. It's a lot of people that get the surgery and then they just say, "Oh well, all right."
No.
I'll just go
Yeah,
back to
she's
it."
doing the stuff she's supposed to do to keep on, maintain and to keep losing,
Yeah.
And I
fantastic.
noticed. Yep, she's doing great.
Fantastic.
There you go.
All right. So we'll check back in with you in 2 weeks. Truman, I'll probably have to. I don't know where I'll be recording. I'll be in Cleveland.
Do they have
2 weeks,
Wi-Fi
yeah.
there?
I'm not sure. I haven't been there in a
Okay.
while. I haven't been there since Wi-Fi was a thing, so I'm assuming so. We'll see. Going to the
listening. Sure you're not.
going to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Seeing I can just walk around and be an old grumpy guy. Why are all these rap groups here and just shit like that? So
It's for every,
Hey,
it's
we can
supposed
have
to
you.
be
We
for
can have you on the
everybody.
phone still. So we'll have you.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
can
yeah.
do the
Yeah,
Discord from the phone. We got
Totally.
you. We got you.
Yeah, you can.
tell me why Run DMC is in and Styx isn't. Come on.
Sticks not in
Well,
the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
No.
Yeah, I
Styx
don't.
isn't in.
Styx,
Kansas
yeah.
isn't in. REO isn't in.
Yeah, it's like the soft rock crew. Yeah, I don't know.
The Hall of
Arenas.
really good for those guys, I guess.
Yeah. They're fine, but are they really like Hall of Fame worthy?
Sold a shit ton of records, dude. They've sold
Well,
a
shit, so did freaking Backstreet Boys, but I'm not trying to put them in either.
But the Beastie Boys got in, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah, but the Beastie Boys made like solid music beyond like selling records.
I guess. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right.
Okay.
All right.
That's
Well,
like a whole nother podcast too, right?
yeah.
there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah. We could just
think
talk
it-
about that. Yeah.
I think it's sabotage if you ask me. But
Oh God.
just saying.
Yeah. All right.
I'll be here all
All
week,
right.
folks. All right, James. Thanks
Hey.
for joining us. Congratulations on
man.
your terrific results.
Oh,
Uh,
thanks, man. I'll keep it
Steams,
going. I want you guys to get on
We
board.
suck.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing, man.
We've got plenty
it's-
of room to rally back down, though. That's the thing. So that makes it.
I'm
really
letting you
nice.
have a head start, buddy. It's a
Sure.
marathon, and I'm
So
letting you
that-
get. I'm
Is
letting
that
you
what
get
it
down
is? I'm like,
miles
I'm
down the
way
road.
out. I'm the rabbit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm standing at the start finish
Yeah.
line. I'm like
You
having
good?
a
When
snack.
I take my nap halfway through is when you guys are gonna pass me.
That's right. I'm having to smoke. I'm like, okay, all right, yeah, I can still see.
I
I'm
think
not
we're
done
the
yet.
ones napping halfway through. I think it's what.
Well, you lose weight when you sleep, so obviously we're not napping enough.
You need to be napping a
Right.
little more. Hey, there you go.
Yeah, because you're not eating.
Yeah.
All right, buddy.
Yeah.
Have a great 2-week period. It
You
sounds like
guys
you
too
got a
enjoy
lot
the
of motiv-
vacation.
Yeah, thank you very much. It sounds like you got a lot of motivation going on there. I think my strategy will try to be just have a dynamite next 10 days, and knowing the 3 or 4 days after that aren't going to be great. So I'm going to see if I can. I'm going to see if I can take care of business, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
So,
man, just make smart choices.
that's
Absolutely.
it. That's
Be
it.
conscious, be smart, like be aware. Don't just like shove stuff in your mouth, which is easy to do.
The mindless eating is a
Mindless
real
eating
problem.
is what has ruined me for years.
You walk out in the kitchen, there's a bag of chips. I have a
Oh
couple
yeah,
of
yeah,
chips.
yeah,
and all
yeah.
this- You go, what's just a couple
Oh
of
yeah,
chips?
because one thing, and that's one of my, and I give you one of my strategies
Okay.
is that I don't ever take like a bag of something and sit down with it, or like the whole container. I will get a plate and I will put
Terrific.
an appropriate portion of that particular whatever it is, and
Yep.
once I ate what's on that fucking plate,
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm not going back. Because if I
That's a-
sit there with the bag or the box or whatever and watch the TV, dude, that
Yep.
sucker will be gone, man. And I've
100%.
consumed like a day's worth of calories in 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. That's a fantastic tip. I don't know if we've ever talked about that. Maybe back in the beginning we did, but yeah, that's very important. If you're gonna have something that isn't great for you,
Yeah.
that you can't eat unlimited amounts, give yourself a portion, weigh it out if you have to,
Yep.
and put it away.
I need
Put it
three
away.
batteries in the
you
stove,
got
that's for
yeah,
sure.
and you got to read the labels.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
you're
You got to
Processed
read the
food,
label
man.
because you don't assume you know what's in what you're eating.
Mhm.
no,
Gotta
and
read
if
the
you're
label.
watching salt, there is so much sneaky salt and shit you wouldn't imagine.
Yeah,
is
and
there.
sugar too. Sugar's in
Yeah.
everything, man. That's
Absolutely,
that's the real heroin.
it is.
Yeah.
It abs-
Sugar, dude.
Oh, sugar kills exponentially more
Right,
people than
way
heroin.
more people than
Way more.
fentanyl, all that shit.
You can. Oh, we lost 100,000 to overdoses this year. Well, that sucks. How many did we lose to fucking heart disease?
Mhm.
How many did we
10
lose
million.
to preventable cancers? There's a study that came out last week said a lot of the cancers, or most of the cancers, can be linked to obesity. So, how many we're losing directly and how many we're losing indirectly? It's more than
Yeah,
100,000.
And
So,
and you ever notice how when you get that sugary, fatty, desserty thing, and how you
Mhm.
kind of do like because it's like you getting that high, man.
yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it's a fucking high. We don't even know it.
Anticipation, you see that creme brulee come out, you
Yeah,
might as well be
I'm
just fucking
telling you,
popping up
man.
lines on your mirror, man. That's all
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying, man.
Snorting this buttercream, baby.
Yeah, you tap the top of that creme brulee, it's just like tapping the mirror, man. It's ready to go.
Yeah.
All right. And on that note,
All
everybody,
right.
James, thanks for joining us. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Absolutely.
Truman, we got some work to do, buddy.
Yes,
We got
do.
some work,
Abs-
my friend.
What's new?
But yeah, let's
But for
let's
sure.
get to it.
Yeah.
Truman and I will be back next week. The three of us will be back in 2 weeks, and we'll check in and see the results then, and we'll see how much money we then have to send to James that time. So that'll be great, guys. Thanks for joining us as always. Let's get back and we'll close up the show. All right.
Alrighty.
Thanks, James.
All right, this will be a little scuffed here at the end, but we did think that we had already recorded an outro for the James conversation. We had not already recorded an outro for the James conversation. I do want to thank James for coming on. He was a great guest. Great to have somebody being successful on the show. Guys, really appreciate you for being here. The Believers' Dreams are even fat, guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. Follow us. Steam Machine, Steen Roller on Twitter. Go check out James. James doing stuff, I assume. Probably need to get some links or something. We'll see if he's got anything he wants to promote next time we check in with him in 2 weeks here. We appreciate everybody for being here. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.